it's hard having 2 kids and being pregnant at the same time. I've talked about it numerous times. Like, I'm sure some of you are so sick of me talking about this. Also, why am I choosing it? Basically because hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am in clear mom mode today. And if you can believe it, it's actually 7 o'clock in the evening right now. It is that time of year where it's a lot lighter, longer in Canada. So that's the nice thing. I can actually film videos when my kids are down for bed at night. So the day was actually pretty busy today, so I am here in the evening filming a video for you guys. And I thought that I would answer some of your questions. I know that I did a Q&A earlier in my pregnancy, but I thought I would do another one just so you guys can ask me some questions that you may be wondering, things you're wondering about pregnancy or motherhood and things like that. So basically, I'm gonna go through your questions now, and yeah, let's get started. When is your due date? So my official due date is July 6th. So I am currently 30 weeks and 3 days right now as I'm filming this video. But I will be having my baby about a week before that because I'm having a scheduled C-section, and I'm gonna talk about why I'm doing that this time later on in the video. So July 6th is my official due date. What is your favorite part of pregnancy? I think my favorite part of pregnancy is probably feeling the baby move. And I love that so much. It just makes me feel so connected to them. And it's just such a special experience, and it's such a privilege to be able to be pregnant. And so for me, it's just so special to feel them moving inside you and just to feel a connection in that way. Also, I love just being able to eat whatever and just being able to be like, you know what, I'm pregnant and I'm just gonna have this ice cream right now. That's also my favorite part. How much weight do you gain usually during pregnancy? Do you lose it all quickly, and how? During my pregnancies, with my daughter, I gained about 40 pounds with her. With my son, I gained around 25 pounds with him. And currently I'm sitting at about 15 to 20 pounds already gained for this pregnancy, which is good, and I'm really happy with that. I think every woman is different, and it is okay to gain weight during pregnancy. It's healthy, it's expected. I think too, there is a lot of pressure on women to kind of like lose the baby weight after you have your baby. And my advice is just to know that your body went through something absolutely incredible, and to not put that pressure on you. I just want to put that out there. There's so much pressure for moms to get back into their pre-baby body after they have their baby, and it's like, dude, you just did like an amazing thing. You grew a human inside of you, and there's just too much pressure on that. That's my personal opinion. But what I did to I basically just breastfed, to be honest with you. I do try to be active as well, and so that also helped. But again, like I said, like, do not put pressure on yourself to lose the weight, but if that's something that you are truly wanting to do, I honestly think that eating decent and exercising regularly is a really, really good thing. In your experience, are boys and girls way different? Only boys over here and mass destruction. So I have a daughter who's my oldest, and then I have my son. And I have noticed some big differences between the two. I think just mostly their interests, their natural interests. Brielle is so into like everything pink and princess and like so girly. It's awesome. And Kellen is into like trucks and construction and dinosaurs and like all that stuff. And that wasn't like something that we really pushed on our kids. It's just something that they're naturally interested in. But I do find that Brielle is a lot more wanting to be a helper. Like Kellen's really good at helping too. But he is definitely getting into the stage of being a little bit more into like the destruction and like just jumping on things, jumping off things. And like Brielle does that too. So like, I guess it all depends on their personality, but I think my kids are decently different from one another. Like Brielle's super outgoing and Kellen's really shy sometimes. So I don't know. I think the majority of the difference that I can see right now is mostly just what they're interested in. Do you struggle trying to convince your husband to help with the kids so you can get things done? I am very thankful that I do not need to convince my husband to help me. He is so great with just doing things when I ask him, and it doesn't always happen right away, but with the kids and everything, he will say yes every time, and he never complains. He helps me with bedtime with the kids, and if I do bedtime, then, or get the kids in their jammies or whatever, he'll do the dishes that night, so we kind of like switch off. If I need help with anything during the day, he's like always there to help me if I need to, but of course he works full time, so he's not always as accessible all the time, but he's very, very willing to help, and I'm extremely grateful for that, because I just feel like so lucky that he is just so willing to help me, because at the end of the day, they're his kids too, and he is definitely just as much of a parent as I am. How do you handle pregnancy exhaustion and lack of sleep from being uncomfortable? With pregnancy exhaustion, honestly, there's just times where I'm like, you know what, I just need to lay down on the couch. I'll put a show on for the kids if they're awake, and I will just lay there. Mommy needs to rest, and they're really good about just, letting me lay there. Usually if I do need to nap, I will nap when they are having their quiet time or their nap time. And that's kind of what's been kind of keeping me going. Also, I think like getting enough sleep at night is so essential, but if, again, you're waking up because you're uncomfortable, and for me, I've been waking up because I've had to go to the bathroom in the night, so now that's begun. So for me, I try to have a bit of an earlier bedtime. That's kind of hard for me because I'm a night owl and I like to stay up really late. But I'm finding that's just like not realistic at this point because I'm needing as much rest as I can. So at the end of the day, when my kids are awake, usually I'll just put a show on for them so that they can sit and on the couch, and I can kind of be there too to like lay with them and just rest, because it's hard having 2 kids and being pregnant at the same time. My energy levels are like at a constant like 0 all the time. Tips to help a mom and kids adapt to a new baby. Going from 1 to 2 soon. So I actually got a few of these. How do you transition from 1 to 2 kids, or are you nervous about transitioning from 2 to 3? Because for me, my transition from 1 to 2 was a little bit difficult. I didn't have an easy time. I've talked about it numerous times. Like, I'm sure some of you are so sick of me talking about this, but it honestly was one of the hardest seasons in my life. And I think that was because a lot of circumstances, I just didn't have enough support. And I also had a baby who was not happy. And as a mom, you try to do everything you can to make your kids happy and content, and he just was not, and there was nothing I could do about it. With that said, I think the transition from 1 to 2 can be different for everybody depending on your circumstances and things going on in your life, and depending on your baby and who they are. But overall, I would probably say that my transition from 1 to 2 was harder from like 0 to 1, just because Brielle was a lot more of a laid back, happy baby, and my son just was not. So in some ways, I'm not too nervous about transitioning from 2 to 3, because my kids are at a stage where they're independent, they're doing really well. They have a set schedule, so like everything's good with that. I have no doubt that they're gonna be great older siblings, again for Brielle, and then for Kellen, as he's going to be a big brother for the first time. He's such a gentle little boy when it comes to other kids, so I'm really not worried about that. I think my biggest advice is just to take one moment at a time. Now, I would usually say like take one day at a time, but I would actually take one moment at a time with my son, because I honestly felt like if I thought about the future and everything else, it just got so overwhelming for me. So I was just in the moment, helping him as much as I could. And also another tip is that if both kids are needing you at the same time, go to the child that needs you the most first and handle that need, and then go to the second. Because for me, I found that super overwhelming when both kids were crying or both kids were like needing me at the same time. Yeah, so just meet the greatest need first and then go to the next one. Also, another great tip, and I'm gonna say this over and over again, is ask for help. Because being a mom and trying to do everything on your own is just so incredibly overwhelming to me, because if I didn't have any help, it would be exhausting. So props to all the single moms out there, because you guys are honestly just, wow. I can't imagine. But also, that's just one thing that I will just say over and over again, because getting help and asking for it, which I know can feel really hard sometimes, is so essential, because we do need it. And it's okay to need it too. Oh, sorry, I have another question here that says, can you do a video on C-section recovery? I actually have done a video on C-section recovery, and I'll just put it up here for you. It has everything from like the pain, the feelings of like how everything is, and I'm pretty frank with it. So if you're wanting to know details about all that stuff, you guys can go watch that video from my previous 2 experiences, and I'll probably be doing another one of those videos after I have this one as well. How to stay calm during temper tantrums. This one's a really good one, because when your kid is having a tantrum, it's really easy to feel overwhelmed with their emotions. But one thing I remember is that it has nothing really to do with me. They are just trying to communicate their big emotions, and a lot of the time it comes in tantrums. And if they are being over emotional about something, they need me to be calm in that moment. And so for me, I always think that I cannot take that personally. It's not about me. They're just trying to navigate their own emotions, and I'm their safe place. And so I'm there to be kind of the calm within that storm for them. So sometimes I will, like if they're having a really bad tantrum, I will take a moment to step away if I feel like I am not able to be calm, because I need to be that calm for them in that moment. And I know tantrums are really freaking hard, especially when they're in public. It's so tough. But that's how I kind of stay calm, is knowing that it's not about me. I'm not going to take it personal, and I'm just going to take a deep breath and just try to calm them down, hold them, and make sure that they know that they're seen, that they're heard, and that they have a safe place with me. Did you have postpartum hair loss in any of your pregnancies, and how to treat it? Yes, I did have postpartum hair loss with both kids, and I found that it was right up here that was the worst for me. I couldn't really pull my hair back because there was just bald spots right here. How did I treat it? I honestly just let it grow out. I really didn't do anything to promote hair growth. I just kind of left it, and it eventually grew back. So now my hair is nice and full and thick, especially during pregnancy. My hair gets so thick, but after pregnancy is done, then I will start shedding a ton. So yes, it's happened to me, but I usually just let it grow back on its own. What's something you're looking forward to during the summer with your new baby? So I'm so happy to be having another summer baby. I am just so excited to go for walks and to go berry picking. I think that will be just probably my most favorite things to do this summer, which are just some of my favorite things anyway. But being able to bring our new little one along with us for those activities is gonna be great. So those are some of the things I'm looking forward to. How do you think your other kids will adjust to new baby? I honestly think that they're gonna do amazing. I think they're gonna be so enamored by him that they are just gonna be so excited about it. Especially Brielle, oh my gosh, she's just like, every single day she's like, how you doing, baby? She'll like talk to my belly and rub my belly and like feel him move, and she's just so obsessed with it. Like she's so excited. Like I think she's gonna do amazing with the adjustment, because she's kind of already gone through it before, but this is the first time that she's actually gonna truly remember what it's like. So I'm excited for that. I think Kellen's gonna be great too. He's such a sweet little soul, and I think he's gonna be really good. So I think overall they're gonna do well. Did you find your body changes differently for each pregnancy? Yes, I did find this, especially in my belly. I did notice that as I've had numerous pregnancies, that my belly, I will show earlier in my pregnancies. So basically when I was pregnant with Brielle, I didn't really show until my second trimester. Like I did a little bit, but overall I didn't really have a bump until then. And then even like with my son, I showed a lot sooner. And then even like this time, as I've gone along with this pregnancy, I've shown even sooner. Like I had a full-on belly at like 10 weeks. And so that's how I've noticed my body has changed. But other than that, things have been the same either way. Do you have any lingering C-section pain? So I actually just talked about this in my previous video, my 30-week pregnancy update. And I did actually talk about some pain that I am experiencing due to my past C-section. So if you want to know a bit more about that, you can go check out that video. But yes, I am dealing with some right now. What are some things on your to-do list before baby arrives? So I have had a list of things that I'm wanting to get done. Some things on my list right now is filling up my deep freeze full of meals that I will be having after I have my baby. So I've been getting some freezer meals stocked up and some other things that I know I will use after. Also, I am getting maternity pictures done this time, so that is on my list. I also need to still get a car seat, so that is also on my list as well. I'm waiting for like a good sale to go on, and then I think I know the one that I'm gonna get. Another thing on my list is to finish another dollhouse project. I know that sounds really silly, but I have one left, so I need to start that, and I'm really excited about it. But after that, I'm not gonna do any more projects or anything like that. I'm just going to rest. Another thing on my list before baby arrives is to wash all the baby clothing and kind of get everything set up in my room because baby's gonna be sleeping with us. So those are just a few things. I'll probably make a video about like a 3rd trimester checklist video and like all the things I'm doing to prepare and to nest and all that stuff, because I've been doing some nesting too. So that's basically like the majority of things on my list right now. Do you have days when you don't feel motivated to clean and your house turns into a complete disaster? Yes, because that is normal. And my house is honestly half a disaster almost all the time. Right now I have dishes sitting in my sink that I haven't done yet. And this room I'm sitting in right now, there's like a ton of mess around me, and I'm gonna show you guys right here. But yes, I definitely don't feel motivated to clean all the time, and my house is definitely a mess a lot of the time. Are you nervous about having another C-section, and why are you choosing it in the first place? So I am a little bit nervous about my C-section just because I know what to expect. And because I know what to expect for this C-section, I kind of know what is gonna happen. But overall, I don't feel like really anxious about it. I kind of know what's gonna happen, but also like I find comfort knowing that too. Also, why am I choosing it? Basically because my last 2 births were emergency C-sections. So I tried to deliver my babies vaginally, but it did not go the way that we had planned. And so for this time, I'm just scheduling one because I don't want to have to go through labor again. My first, I went through about 9 hours of labor, and then I had my C-section. And then with Kellen, I had 3 days of prodromal labor, which is awful if you've ever experienced it. And then I actually was induced and had about, close to 9 hours of real labor until he was born. So I really don't want to go through that experience again. And for me, it doesn't cost me more to have a C-section. And I know what to expect. I know what recovery is like. I know what the procedure is like. And for me, having a scheduled date and time where I go in and I have my baby, and that just seems so calming and relaxing to me because my last 2 experiences were just so unpredictable and were like a little bit nerve-wracking for me. So I'm feeling really good about it. I'm really excited about it. And I'm actually gonna be getting a day for my C-section next week. And I'm pretty positive I know the day already, but it's just gonna be great having confirmation from the OB who's gonna be doing my surgery. So that is where I'm gonna end today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching this Q&A. I hope you found it fun, and I hope you found a little bit more information on me and my baby, and hopefully for you as you anticipate your baby coming soon, or if you're pregnant. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you do subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you in my next one.